La chemise parisienne. Ugh.
I'm too fabulous.
Started off so optimistic about this one. I was really excited. This was one that I had been looking forward to since I found it. I was watching Shark Week, I was amped, and I was ready to go. But a seemingly not even mistake happened very, 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 very early on, which started the ball rolling downhill. I guess I should have known that this potentially could be a problematic project simply because it took me weeks to find the fabric that I have. And even after weeks of searching, fabric's not what I wanted. This month consisted of lots of cutting, lots of pinning, lots of sewing, lots of ripping, lots of redoing, and redoing, and redoing, and redoing, and redoing. Coffee? Shark Week! I have this shirt laid out, which is one that I use. I like the way it fits. And I'm using it as my pattern. And now I cut. It is very, 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 very important when making this shirt, when you're pinning the half that you've already cut out to the fabric that you're about to cut out, it is absolutely imperative that the stripes on what you cut out match the stripes on what you're about to cut out. Otherwise, it could be disastrous. I now have a front and a back. One thing that hasn't changed with this project is my hatred towards sleeves. So sleeves in and of themselves aren't terribly difficult. Not true. When cutting out the sleeves, how do you want the stripes to go? Ooh, we are going to just make it. Really, really hope I did this right. So I cut, and I modeled, and I pinned, and I modeled. Just tried it on, and either the neck's a little too tight or my head's a little too big. So the only remedy, make the neck a little bigger. Last time I did sleeves, it went terribly wrong over and over and over again. This time it went surprisingly really well, which has me a little concerned, maybe a little too well. And I sewed, and something jammed. And I ripped. Told you things were going too smooth for this one. The bobbin keeps not working right. Hoping this isn't a pattern with sleeves and sewing machines because they just don't, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Who knows? We'll see. So, lunch break. Homemade leftover enchiladas, cornbread, tortilla chips, glass of water, and a guard dog. Let's hope this works. And I sewed, and I pinned. Here's the situation. Well, it fits, essentially. I'm not thrilled so far. It doesn't fit how I would like. Way too tight up here, not tight enough over here. The shoulders are off. I don't know if that means I just need to add in a little extra and kind of switch up the design. I have images swirling around in my head. Or do I just scrap it and completely start over? It's better than I feared, but not as good as I'd hoped. I think most of it has to do with the fabric and a bad decision I made early on in doing this. The shirt that I used when laying it out on the fabric to cut it out is a stretchy fabric, and so when you lay it out flat, it's not as wide as what I need for this fabric, since this is a much stiffer fabric. So we'll see what happens. I learned my lesson. Always, always, always wait for Master Mom or get a pattern. And my mom has deemed the shirt fixable. Woohoo! But if it goes wrong, I'm blaming her. But before it can be fixed, it has to be seam ripped. The tradition lives on. I can say with certainty, at least 99% of every stitch I put in, I took out. So now what? The master worked her magic. Excuse you, Bogart.
I think these two are going to win because they have the best. What I want you to do is just with a needle and thread with pretty big, sew right along that line. You know, just baste it.
And I re-sewed. It is now day 2 of this shirt. And I know what you're thinking. This isn't the same person from yesterday. No, that's impossible. But slap some paint on this old barn and I turn out pretty good. I ripped again. And I pinned again. I hand stitched again. And I modeled. The master worked her magic. I re-sewed. There's a chance that turned out very badly.
Just smooth out that curve a little bit. Why can't we find something easy? I mean, now we got to do the other sleeve, and it's going to be equally as difficult. That's the benefit of a pattern. Something right there that has to come out.
Did I royally screw it up?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Did I commoner screw it up? So I have just returned from a week at the beach, and I forgot to leave a key out for my fairy godmother to come finish this shirt. So instead, I got to come home to the same mess I left before we went. So the month is close to an end, so I better get this done. To kind of recap,
Put it on and see what happens.
before I left for the beach, we had to fix the sides. We had to fix the sleeves because they were all cattywampus.
Looks worse now than it did before.
And my mom had taken over. Mommy worked her magic.
I think there was just something that was sewed together that wasn't supposed to be sewed together. You don't.
You trying to strip me on camera?
I am.
So we're back. We're getting ready, and she says, "Hey, why don't you go put on your shirt?" Put it on. Apparently, she sewed part of the neckline to the armpit. I put the shirt on.
See?
Do you see part of it is sewed to the armpit?
Oh no!
You did that one.
Really?
Yeah, you were the last one who sewed it.
Well, that's not going to work, is it? Gee.
Well, those sleeves aren't the same size. So one of these sleeves is much longer and wider.
Oh my, they sure are.
And I sewed again. It's times like this. I don't want that job. Mom fixed again. Initially, I had planned on using the polka dot fabric as a Peter Pan collar around the shirt, but when it came time to do it, the pattern I had didn't fit the neckline I had. So it was either A, do a whole lot of unnecessary work that can go terribly, terribly wrong, or B, not do it. So I opted for B and instead used the polka dot fabric to make some cuffs. So I cut and I pinned.
I think first thing I would do would be hem this edge. Then, when you sew this together, so all your edges will be taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And I sewed.
Can detect chemicals in other compounds. This was not in the guest house and then buried in the backyard.
Home stretch.
What happened to Linda?
Literally just celebrated that I was in the home stretch. And then the camera died. And I spent a good few minutes looking for the charger, which was literally right in front of me. It was right here. Right here. Plugged in right over there. The cord was streaming up and was tucked under the sewing machine that I'd been using for the past 4 or 5 hours. And then I realized as I was pinning the polka dot onto the sleeve, I did something wrong. So once I flip, there's no way to get my hand out of the sleeve. So while I was excited about being in the home stretch, I think it's bedtime. It's 11 something. I've probably watched almost all the Unsolved Mysteries on the DVR. And I'm really tired. So this will wait until tomorrow morning. I will finish it. I will get it done before I leave tomorrow night to work on Tuesday. But yeah, I figure all I really have to do here is take the seam out along the top. Whoops. Oh. Yeah. I just realized what I did. When my mom had said I need to sew the sides, I had totally forgotten that she was saying sew one side down like this, not sew two sides like that. Bedtime. A good night's sleep has paid off, and I have sewn both sleeves. You can actually put your hand through it now. Which means I am almost done. Yeah! Look. I think that looks about right. How in the world do I sew this without sewing it onto this? It's the current conundrum. Solution, hand stitch until you figure it out. I have these hand stitched in. Woohoo! So I guess now I wait. Not quite sure, as I mentioned, how to sew the inside without it all being all sewn together and not working. I just need to finish up the collar, give it a nice clean edge, and then I think after those few things, I will finally be done. Yay! I had to enlist the master to finish up the smaller tasks that needed somebody that had more skill than I to complete. She did, and I am ever so grateful and so thankful. I don't know what I would do without her. After many premature victory dances, this dress is finally finished. Yes!
I'm too fabulous. I'm so fierce that it's in nuts. I live.
Next month is also a shirt, also with sleeves, also with a pattern. Yes, Mom has said it is imperative that there be a pattern for the next time we make sleeves, so we will be doing that, which will hopefully decrease the unexpected, annoying things that keep happening. So until then, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you later. Now to go soak the shirt in some fabric softener.